Three. Good afternoon to all the Diamond Girls listeners out there in the podcast world. I'd like to welcome you back to another week. I'd like to welcome you back after the holidays. I hope everyone had a beautiful Thanksgiving. Today we have Miss Corrine, and she is an author, a yoga instructor. But before that, she's a new mother also. She has a 2-week-old baby. But before that, she did 14 years in corporate America. Welcome, Corinne. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you so much, Pat. I'm so happy to be here. I'm doing fantastic.
Wonderful, wonderful. Introduce yourself to our listeners, please. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
Sure. My name is Corrine Ann. I am a new author. This is my first book that I decided to write, publishing in January 2021. And my background is corporate sales and leadership. I decided to leave corporate and become my own boss 2 years ago. And in that process, became a yoga instructor, built my e-commerce business, and wrote my book. So that's sort of my background. I have two beautiful children and a wonderful husband, and I run my life from my home.
Amazing, amazing. Corporate America to now running your life from your home. What was the big decision, the big aha moment?
So I have I had an experience about 5 years ago. I had lost my first husband and I had a small child. And so I really rebuilt my life by myself with her. And my aha moment was when, I was in corporate America for so long, I was very successful. My aha moment was I wanted to be home with my children. And I wanted something more that felt more soulful from the heart, something that felt more purposeful where I could give back. And I think, my experience with with my loss had kind of changed my perspective on what mattered. My goal now is to inspire others to not have to wait for some sort of tragic event in their life to take leaps, because it ends so quickly and we only have so much time here and we all have such amazing gifts to give. And so that's really what inspires me.
Oh, wonderful. And you're right. We have to take advantage. We only have so much time here, and that's very inspiring. So, how long have you been writing? I mean, this is your first book, but I'm sure you were writing way before making the decision to publish your first book.
Yeah. So I had always wanted to put out a book since I was a little girl. I don't know why. It was something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to inspire others. I was never sure what that would look like or how that would turn out for me. But it was something that was always in the back of my mind while I was doing the corporate thing and just kind of running through life. So I spent years just jotting things down, jotting ideas down, and you know, ideas on my computer, ideas on my post-it notes, and all over the place. And then I finally just decided I'm going to actually seek how to do this, right? Because when you're not an author from day one, you have to learn how to
Mhm.
do that. And that can be scary and intimidating. But I finally decided after probably I would say was writing my ideas down for a good 5, 6 years.
Okay.
And now the book writing process, I did it in a year and got it done.
Well, tell our listeners, what is the title of your book and where can they find it?
Sure. So the title of my book is called The Elephants We Carry, and the subtitle is Rising from Catastrophe to Embrace Joy. And it really is that whole premise of, really finding what you have within to be able to give back to the world. What that looks like for everyone is different. Listeners, you can find it on Amazon in January 2021.
All right, all right. So, give us a little bit more about the book. Give us just a little sneak peek inside, just a little bit about the book.
Sure. Sure. So it's a memoir. I originally went out to write the book as sort of a self-help type of book, but it's become more of a memoir. Memoir is the new self-help. It's my story. It's my story about how who I thought I was before my loss
Mm-hmm.
and who I have become after, and how it shifted my perspective. I give all of the goodies about what I went through, how hard it was, the pain that I went through, the isolation, the loneliness, and the tragedy. But also, the book really is about, this is the part I'm most excited about, is what you can do with that. That's the elephants, right? The elephant
Right.
carry is the fear, the grief, the anxiety, the shame, the guilt, everything that comes with stuff we all deal with. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's about how you carry them and what you do with them. And that's why I chose the title, The Elephants We Carry. Um, so yeah, I hope that's enough of a sneak peek.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I just wanted to strike the interest and the curiosity of our listeners so they can rush to Amazon and pre-order the book. So, what I'm going to ask a question, what unique skill did you feel you possessed that made you this writer?
I think as far as skill goes, I'll be honest, with writing, I felt that I had no skills that I was pre-built with because it was just something that was new for me. But as I started writing and going through the process, I learned that I I have a lot of creative skill, and I think we
Mhm.
all do. And we need to take risks to unlock that and really go after and show and inspire. And writing was just one way for me to express that. There's of course there's always going to be other ways to do it, but I think that the creative skill was something that kind of came out for me in the writing process as a new author.
Okay. What is it that you wish you would have told your younger self? I
Mm,
know you went to corporate America, so you went to college, and now you have this e-commerce business. And I want to talk about that also. But what would you
sure.
tell your younger self?
There's two things. One is perspective, right? I think my younger self was focused on, we grow up and we're told go to college, go to school, and go get a good job. And I did all of that. I did everything. I checked all the boxes that I was supposed to do. I went and got my master's degree. I went and got a good corporate job. I made amazing income, and I wasn't fulfilled after all of that.
Mhm.
So I think that I would tell my younger self two things. One is to always follow what feels more purposeful to you, and not necessarily on what you're told you're supposed to do, because that was what I did, and it still left me feeling somewhat empty. And the second thing is, just because I had gone through the loss that I went through, my perspective was focused on things that just don't matter. And now I have that perspective of, well, I can really focus on what matters, and knowing that, we only have so much time here on earth to really give and show our true gifts. That's something that I didn't know as my younger self.
And so many of us, like you said, we checked off the boxes. We did the things that our parents told us that would make us successful. But deep down inside, we didn't really feel successful. We didn't
Right.
have, that wasn't our passion. We were doing
Correct.
what someone else told us to do. So I can identify with it with you. I can identify, and I'm sure many of our listeners can also
Yeah,
chasing that dream, that education, that corporate job, and then coming home at night still, ah,
that's
where
correct.
is the passion? Where is the excitement, the fulfillment?
Yeah, you get to a point where you say, is this it?
Yes, yes,
Is this it?
yes.
Is this really, when I worked very hard for it, and I was successful at corporate by their standards. But to me, happiness and feeling full of purpose is how I define success. And I had to go and chase that and find it because corporate wasn't cutting it for me anymore. So
And our listeners out there, I hope you're paying close attention because she still is successful. Even outside of the corporate America, she's building her own corporation right there from home. And on that note, tell our listeners about your e-commerce business that you have.
Yeah, so I was looking for, as many moms, I was looking for ways to earn additional income from home. And I refused to go back to the corporate environment. I was not going to let myself do that. Um, but I had to find a way to make it work. And I built an e-commerce business called solwink.com. It's SOLWINK. And during the virtual learning experience with my daughter, who is a third grader, she was spending so much time on screens and it was making her tired and sort of irritable and rubbing her eyes all the time. And then I learned that a lot of the blue light that's emitted from our devices is causing damage and harm to our eyes and our sleep cycle. And gosh, these are just children. So soulwing.com, we sell blue light protection eyeglasses for children. And they come in all sorts of fun colors. They're very affordable. The kids love wearing them. They're non-prescription. They're really just for screen time. And that's what we sell on my e-commerce site. I'm having a lot of fun with it. E-commerce has been a really exciting journey for me. And it has also I've proven to myself that I have been able to pull in income from e-commerce from home, in addition to the book, which is fantastic.
Well, congratulations. And right now we have, look, over half the world going to school virtually.
Correct.
So those glasses are needed. Let the listeners know your site website again, please.
Yes, it's www.solwink, which is SOLWINK.com, solwink.com. I came up with the name because, again, coming back to that purpose of letting your soul wink and doing something that feels good,
Yes.
that's how I came up with Soul Wink. And it's for the children
Oh,
this time. Yeah.
yes. Okay. Okay. How awesome is that? And listeners, I know we have children, us ladies working that are on the computer from 6 to 8 hours daily. Then children are on these social media sites. So they need to protect their eyes. So go to visit her website and protect your children's eyes. Okay. What inspires you daily?
Mm, I would say I am inspired by, well, my children inspire me, there's no question. But from my own personal inspiration, it really comes from within and this innate feeling to just give back. I think the losses that I experienced, I lost my mother, had a baby, lost my husband, all within 4 year span. And as hard as that was, my inspiration came from, gosh, we have a lot still. And
Mhm.
there's so much we can give back. And that inspires me every day. I mean, of course, there's people out there who inspire me, but I really try to find it from within. And I think that's hard to do. But if you focus on it, that's really where your true inspiration comes from. That's what gets me going every day is, what can I create? What can I create today?
Okay. So you didn't tapped into your creativity, and that's what makes you a gem, a diamond.
Yes, we all have it.
Yes. What would you say to some of our listeners that may want to become, open an e-commerce business like yourself or write a book?
Mhm. I would say you have to get past your fear and you have to get started, because if you wait, you just don't have an endless amount of time that you think you do. And I would say, what you have inside. And you need to do all of us the service to give us that and to shine your light. And that starts with taking that first leap. And if it's something that you've always wanted to do and you're stuck in a grind or any kind of grind, I would say you've got to go for it. You've got to do the work. Just start somewhere, baby steps. Don't hold back, because tomorrow is not promised.
Right. Tomorrow isn't promised to none of us.
None of us. Yes.
That
And
is true.
it's so true. And I think that that fuels a lot of everything that I do. Um, and get uncomfortable, because there's no growth unless you get uncomfortable.
Right. What would you say to someone that's listening that may experience the same grief that you have experienced? Let's inspire them before we leave today. Inspire
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Well, that is the whole purpose of why I wrote the book, was because I want them to know that there is joy on the other side, even when you don't think it's possible. I was in a really bad, dark place. I thought
Mm-hmm.
life was hopeless for my daughter and I have rebuilt a beautiful life, and I want them to know that there is joy on the other side. And that's a lot of what the book is about. It's for people to see, hey, because I wanted that. I wanted to see someone tell me, yes, you will lead a joyful life again. You will rebuild. But I didn't really have that. And so that's why I wrote the book, was for listeners who've gone through that type of tragedy, or it could be any kind of loss, divorce. It doesn't have to be death. Um,
Right.
yeah.
Well, how can our listeners contact you and how can our listeners support you? I want you to give both business websites out, the Amazon, where they can go on Amazon. Give them all that information, please.
Sure. Yeah. So the book will be available on Amazon in January, late January. So keep checking back. Elephants We Carry. And I can be contacted at Corrine Byrne at gmail.com. So that's Corine, B as in boy, EIRNE at gmail.com.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. She gave you all ways to contact her. We are so excited for you. We're excited to read your book, and we're excited to support you. The Diamond Girls Rock podcast will be getting a book from you, and we encourage others to go to Amazon in January, and we encourage others to also to visit her website. Remember the glasses for your children to help them while they're going to school virtually. So visit her website. Once again, give out that website, please.
It's www.solwink, SOLWINK.com. And Elephants We Carry is the book. So excited.
Elephants We Carry is her book. Remember that. All listeners, please remember Elephants We Carry. And we'd like to thank you once again for joining us on the Diamond Girls Rock podcast. We are glad that you took time out of your schedule to come to sit with us so our listeners can hear how successful you are and how great of a woman that you are. And we also congratulate you. She's a new mother, a 2-week old, and she's on here this evening. So we congratulate you.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you once again from the Diamond Girls podcast. Once again, this is Pat Pearson, your host on the Diamond Girls Rock podcast. You can contact me at 313-587-3588 with any questions you may have. Or if you would like to be a guest, contact me 313-587-3588. Until next time, bye bye.